All right. So let's begin by sitting, a very good place to begin. And of course, depending on what has already transpired, and particularly because it's a holiday weekend, you might be a little bit frazzled. So just recognize that. Recognize any and all fragmentation. And then see if you can bring your entire self wholeheartedly to now. So the ways to do that are many. First, allow yourself to feel the foundation, your buttock bones in contact with the earth. Have a sense that you're grounded, rooted into the earth. And from that groundedness, see if you can ascend your spine. See if you can feel the median line of your trunk, so you get clarity in terms of the sitting posture. Sit and know that you're sitting. Just feel yourself in space, halfway between the earth and the sky. Just attune yourself to your environment, your room as it is. Tune yourself, even though there aren't other people in your room, there are people here with you in this co-created community, Sangha. And see if you can encourage the virtues of the heart to deepen as you sit. These virtues of loving kindness, compassion, equanimity, and wisdom. Allowing these qualities in your mind body to thrive. Sensing the body, the breath, the body of the breath. Sensing sound inside and outside. And again, no need to manage the body or the breath, or for that matter, the sound. Allow things to be as they are. And see if you can finally connect with the joy of no control, which is challenging. The joy of no control. And then if you have a personal vow, you can repeat that, or mine, which is really the Bodhisattva vow. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. May I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist, until all are enlightened. I vow to be here to serve them all. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, you can lift the gaze and stretch out your legs. So welcome to you all. Let's see if some people have come in since I unmuted everyone. So I want to begin. I hope you all had a nice day yesterday. In Viparita Karani, so you'll need a bolster and likely 1 or 2 blankets. So we're going to start with Viparita Karani. And one of the reasons it's a very, Rahel, I think this will help. One, if we do some back bending work, it'll prepare, but I also want to do some Padmasana in it. Have a belt and perhaps a chair if we do Bharadvajasana. All right, so Viparita Karani, legs elevated at the wall. So Polly, to your point, one of the things that Polly was saying, that it's very hard for her to get her legs very close to the wall. So there's different ways to come into it. And somersaulting is wonderful because you get the momentum, but it's not good for neck and shoulder issues. So part of the difficulty in getting the legs so close to the wall is having open groins. If you don't have open groins, it's rather challenging. So I've set the setup, you can see, and I'll say about a fist distance away from the wall. And then just as the setup, Polly, you want to get in really, really close on the bolster. So you're sitting up on the bolster and bend the knees into the chest and then swing the legs up at the wall. That will get you the closest to the wall. And then if your bolster has straps and you're a little bit distanced away, then you can pull in. All right. You want the legs, and the very first position is with the feet apart. Remember, so the diaphragm can spread. We did a lot of abdominal work on Tuesday. And we talked about it's so important to have the diaphragm spreading before abdominal work and hip flexor work and after. So we're going to stay a bit of time. Julia, that's good. Nice to see you. And Tom, Alana, Val. Good. Have the feet apart. Get the heel hinges right up at the wall. That's good, Lubna. All right. No need to belt the legs because we're going to take the legs apart. Don, unless you want to, but you don't, because we will go to Upavishta, in which case the legs aren't quite as wide as Upavishta. So Polly, and then swing in and then see if you can scoot. That happens, don't worry, Okay, have the feet apart so the diaphragm can spread. See if you can unfold the chest. The legs are in that forward bend position. The chest is in the back bend position. Feel, as we did on Tuesday, the breath as you take an in breath. Feel the breath on the side walls of the chest, and just relax the arms out to the side. Holly, that's okay. And then you can bend, press the feet firmly into the wall, bend the knees and scoot back toward the wall. Just have the arms out to the side. Now that looks good. So your pubic bone is lower than your navel. Your pelvis, the feeling in a really good Viparita Karani is not such that the abdomen pushes forward. It's anything but that. The pelvis is in an anterior tilt. That's why we say the legs are in the pelvis are more in that forward bend position. It's the chest that's in the back bending position. The pubic bone slightly lower than the navel. And that's how to gauge the height. Do experiment, because you know the metrics of the pose. Then you can experiment with the blanket height. And then if all else fails, Polly, then you could just do the whole sequence flat on your back, which is actually, for if anyone was having back issues, that would be the preferred mode. Okay. And just enjoy your breath. Again, not trying to manage the pose in any way. I mean, you could take it apart, but let's just use this position now, this shape, to come into the here and now. So much of, instructions are in the effort really to improve or to get better, to manage, to control, and see if you can abandon that gesture. It's actually quite freeing when you know that you don't have to perform, certainly not for me, for yourself, without any impositions, without any control. Just be and enjoy your breath. And then when you're ready, you can take the legs apart, a little bit apart, but keep the inner edges of the feet running parallel. Observe the change in the diaphragm and taking the legs further apart, not too wide. You can drop a line, a plumb line from the ceiling to your pubic plate and make sure that the right leg is even off from the left. If one leg is too far out to the side, it will feel more uneven. And if you're unable to take, say, the left leg as far out as the right, then go to the one that's that default, the one that can't go as wide. And just enjoy the breath. Observe the sensations in the diaphragm and how it affects the out breath. Perhaps the out breath getting a little bit longer than the in. Then you can drop the heel hinges into the pubic plate in Baddha Konasana. Perhaps placing the hands on the inner thighs might reinforce the width across the pubic plate. But again, not spending too much attention to the details, the metrics, so to speak, of the pose, but rather the feeling in the pose. Feeling. What is it like to feel Viparita Karani with the Baddha Konasana legs? You might perhaps have an epiphany in this iteration of Viparita Karani, that the diaphragm feels like a wide rectangle versus a square. And then finally, the cross-legged position. You can take the right shin in front of the left, left in front of the right. Sensation of a kind of a Supta Swastikasana. And then in this iteration, again, keeping your eyes quiet, tongue quiet, brain quiet, maintain that as you take the arms overhead. Try to keep the elbows straight. Janet, yeah, be careful if you need head support, you can take it. So elbows firm, no elbows, but certainly there are knees in Swastikasana. Again, observe the exhalation. Perhaps now longer than the in-breath, or at least as long as the in-breath. Change the cross. If you need to take the arms down to change the cross, that's fine. Yes, Lumina, that was good. So when, in the same manner which I alluded to in Urdhva it's wise to stretch out the legs first up at the wall, then change the cross. Just like when we go to Urdhva arms overhead pose, we lengthen the arms before we swap. It's good for the joint. It doesn't stay in that extreme flexion position in the joint. Okay, now before we come out of it in Swastikasana, scooting off of it, I'm going to have you stretch up the legs back to Dandasana, stay for the same amount of time roughly, and then take the legs apart, and I'll take you through this so you don't have to get up. You're going to come in and out of half lotus, one leg at a time, not staying for but 3 seconds, holding the pit of the right inner upper knee, and aim to get with your left hand, hold the foot from underneath, and quickly aim the right foot as high up to your left groin as possible. Just that's it. Good. So let's see. All right, in, out, quickly. So you're just kind of moving the legs from the Dandasana position, Virlana. Try not to sickle the foot. For some of you, that might be the harder part. Okay, yeah, Polly, that's fine. So it's fine to, yeah, the foot will come mid-thigh. That's a moving along. So I had you do this because the pelvis is supported. It's a little bit harder, although still rather easeful with legs up at the wall without the pelvis support. Just go in, out. Now I will say those of you who this is easy part of Padmasana, then touch Padmasana. Why not? Val and others touch Padmasana and aim to get the backs of the thighs at the wall. Good. Those of you who are not, if it's not possible, go back to Swastikasana, just pick a side. And then as we come out of it, you'll stay in Swastikasana. All right, so Padmasana people, good bow. And then stay for a bit, and then you'll stretch up the other legs, change. The Swastikasana people can change the cross. Okay, now this is the tricky part for the Padmasana people. See if you can inch away from the bolster. Yes, just get your buttocks on the floor and aim the knees to the support. That's your, the others of you are doing it in Swastikasana. Go in and out. So now everyone's either in Swastikasana or Padmasana, the exit out of the pose. That's it. Coming off the bolster. Lubna, that's really good. So this is a path now to Matsyasana, where the trunk is flat. Actually, there are two Matsyasans where the trunk is not flat. It's in the back bend shape, but the knees are down. Okay. And then there's the completely flat Matsyasana. Okay, now you can change the cross of the legs, the Padmasana, just stretch the legs to Dandasana while you're on the bolster, swap the cross. So this is just a sort of a progression, if you will, of Padmasana from Viparita Karani using gravity. Good, these look really good. So Julia, yes, we're back in Padmasana, exit from Viparita Karani, having utilized the bolster to get there. These are good. Okay, and now when you're ready, Padmasana, Swastikasana people, especially the Padmasana people, stretch up the legs to 90 degrees. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Yeah, so you're flat, like kind of where we were in UPP on Tuesday, what I call Urdhva Prasarita. These look good. And then stretch the arms overhead. So we spent a lot of time on all the iterations of UPP. If your legs, if it's challenging for anyone, you can do the angular UPP that I taught on Tuesday. Well done. Okay, now let's take this further. I wasn't going to do this, but now that I've changed the whole sequence, we might as well. Okay, so you're going to start in Dandasana. Let's just go in and out of Padmasana. So again, I could see from the beautiful work that you did in the Viparita Karani and Padmasana at the wall, how you used your hands. You know, that's good Iyengar students. So we're going to use that again in Dandasana. So the leaning in method, right? I hold the foot from underneath. Now, Polly, you see, in the beginning, it may be that the foot winds up mid-thigh, no worries. At some point, the heel will come into the perineum, but look how far I'm leaning over. No way is my knee ever leaving the floor. That's how far over I lean. There are different ways. I remember Mary Ogendorfer recently in the Coast to Coast presentation, she taught it, let me just show this for those interested, with the block. So she had people have the knee on the floor, the foot on the block, and then took the heel in. Polly, you can see if that helps. All right, the block. So the block gets you that little bit of height, and then same thing, same principle, leaning in and out. That's good, Elaine. You know what? How I would look at this, good Betsy. How I would look at this is like a loop. Do the art of Padmasana and focus on your hips, which is interesting, not your knees. Because if you think about it, let me just show this from this view. When you do Ardha Padmasana, it's all about the hip. Most people focus on the knee, but it's actually that 360-degree rotation of the leg in the ball and socket joint, right? That's how I look at it, all right? So, Polly, and if it's challenging to do in Dandasana, then just do exactly what I did supine, right? Flat, just try it, trust me. Okay, in and out, it works, right? That's it, Julia, in and out, in and out. So Tom, we're not even staying long. Just, I really want you to get, so the sense here is not so much, can I do it, can't I do it? It's about the lubrication of the hips. So think about the movement, of doing it in that manner. I know it's a little slower when the foot is on the block, so I'm really lubricating my hips. It should feel really, really good. Some of you see how, I'm going quickly, but and the reason why I'm going quickly is I'm attuning my body to the movement. Just think about the leg, right? Rotating in its hip socket 360 degrees. Polly, this could actually be helpful as well. Sometimes you have, the way to think about if something's not happening is think way outside the box, So after what I just said about the leg rotating, that could be helpful, provided you had no problem leaning back. Okay. All right. And then everyone can come back to Dandasana. All right. So now we're going to work with a little bit of the Paryankasans, which is what Gita had done when we were in India. And it was really lovely. So let's start at the very beginning, especially if Paryankasana with legs in Virasana is an issue. So I'm going to have you take your 2 blocks on the highest side, which you all know, and do what Gita has called a straight leg Paryankasana. So this is especially wonderful iteration for those of you unable to do the classic Paryankasana, of which the legs are in Virasana. Some of you might need some height, and I've taught this before, underneath your pelvis when the blocks are on this high side. All right, so you can sit on the blanket and then you just peel back. The first brick belongs to the thoracic, second brick for the back of the head. Some of you, if you lift the chin up way up high and the neck is uncomfortable, then take a blanket on this first brick, which will help. So we're doing a straight leg Paryankasana. Good, Lubna. I'll spotlight Lubna because some of you, I think, are not sure what I mean. Okay, so Lubna, I'm spotlighting you just so that I have your approval. All right, so there's Lubna. Notice how her legs are apart. I'm really happy she did that because that softens the diaphragm. And then we will take the arms overhead. Lubna, the head support looks really good, but there still seems to be a bit of tension in your throat. I know that's a lot to ask her. Yeah, take your hands, Lubna, to the back of the skull. Do you remember how I taught that? And spread, that's it, Lubna. You see? I still think a little more height might help, Lubna. Thank you. All right, let me unspotlight Lubna. Okay, now some of you might, Polly, Tom, the bricks on that high side are quite high if the mobility in the thoracic is not there. So you could go to the medium height. Let me see, I have to get everyone back on gallery view. Spotlight. Okay, let me see. That's beautiful. That's a lot of lift in your chest. See that your throat is relaxed? So what I was asking Lubna to do is take your hands, interlace them at the very back of the skull, not actually in the neck, the back of the skull. And this is also what we do. Those of you who practice chair back bends, this is very, very helpful for Viparita Dandasana. First, spread the skin. You'll see a corresponding value in spreading the eyes, and then lengthen the cervical away from the thoracic. And if that fails to relax the neck, then go to the lower height. Keep the feet apart as we did in Viparita Karani. Good, Rahul. These look good. Very good indeed. Donna, good. Now keep turning the arms from the inside out. Remember, if the thoracic is tight in any way, don't let the deltoids, the frontal deltoids, pitch forward. That's an unhealthy action for the shoulder. Okay, and now touch Urdhva Hastasana, as we alluded to earlier, keeping the elbows firm. So again, now no knees, no elbows, and then go to bound hand. And then Urdhva Hastasana again, as I had mentioned, go back to stretching the arms from the flexion and then change the cross. Good. That's good heel extension, Lana. Yeah, spread the toes. Spread the soles of the feet so that the arches are felt. That suction cup quality in the arches as though you were standing. Everyone must be cold because everyone else has socks on today. And now take the arms back to Urdhva Hastasana. Good. Take the arms down. Now, instead of coming out, although coming out for those who need to come out, fine. But let's stay, if we can, stay in this supine shape with the support of the blocks. Now, like we did in Viparita Karani, come into Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Yes. So this is the iteration of Baddha Konasana legs in Paryankasana. Just when you thought there was one iteration. That's it, Polly. Press the feet, widen the thighs away, get that width across the pubic plate as you reach from the groins to the inner knees to the outer knees. Feel the thighs, the femur heads drawing back into the hip socket so you get that compactness in the hips as the spine is in that back bend shape. Now swastikasana, as we did in Viparita Karani. Doesn't matter which leg. Yes, good. That's it. Stretch the arms overhead. Hold and bound hand. Stretch the arms overhead. Take the arms down. Change the cross. Good. And then again, you'll do Urdhva Hastasana, Baddha Hasta, change the cross from Urdhva Hastasana in this change position of swastikasana. Now, as we did in Viparita Karani, some of you might be able to go to Padmasana in Paryankasana, but I won't have you do it. If those of you who are interested in doing it, then come up and do the Padmasana position from Dandasana, that's why we did it, and then go back. That's it. If you're not doing Padmasana because you gleaned from earlier, 10 minutes ago, that you are unable to do it, then just stay in the swastikasana position. That's it. So take it from Dandasana. You can get rid of, that's it. The blanket may help. Some of you could maybe go back without the blanket. That's it, Val. That's it. Now see if you can get the knees down. It might be helpful if you draw the legs in toward the chest and then extend from the groin to the knee. Good, Donna. So now you're in Padmasana, in Paryankasana, or Swastikasana in Padmasana. And if your knees are bothering you, which no one seems to be in Swastikasana, then of course go back to the straight leg. Okay, which some of you will do when we do the classic way. Then you're going to come up, change the cross, because it's really hard to change the swap. That's asking a lot. So take it from the Dandasana. That's it, Rahel. Change the cross, the other Padmasana, and then go back. Holding the sides of the mat will help, and then go back. So these iterations of Paryankasana are not taught that much, but I'm doing them because they have a wonderful feeling on the hips. And then we'll do the classical Paryankasana, which the legs are in Virasana, and then of course, then you can see why we did it this way. For those of you who are unable to do Virasana and the Virasana legs in Paryankasana, you'll go back to Polly, the straight leg, Tom, the straight leg Paryankasana, and hopefully it will come. Okay, so now we're still in that opposite side. These look good. All right, now this is what I'd like you to do. Hold the sides of the mat. This is even possible. Hold and lead with your chest. Up you come. So you're sitting in Padmasana, and then you can stretch your legs out. That's it. Now give the legs a good stretch in Dandasana, a really good stretch. Seal the legs to the floor. Okay, so now we're doing the classical Paryanukasana, but this is what I'm going to have you do first. I want you to sit in Virasana, then you'll recline back, and then do Parvatasana, hands interlaced, or Urdhva Badangulyasana in Virasana, hence Parvatasana, and then you'll go back. Otherwise, you're doing straight leg. So now you can show me in profile. Yeah, that's fine. So Polly, you'll be doing straight leg. Point the feet straight back. Be on the baby toe side, outer shin side. Separate the thighs a smidge to relax the diaphragm. And then go up through your arms. And then recline back. Try, yeah, Janet, that's fine. But you do it in Dandasana, and then you're going to go back with straight legs. All right, those in Virasana, go back. That's it, Lana. Take head support if you need it. And then observe, if you've never done these leg positions, how, you could say, well, I do this more often, right? How does it feel now, this classic Paryanukasana, having done what I just did? Chisel your tailbone. Chisel the tailbone. Chisel your tailbone. Illumina, she's having problems with the computer, yeah, I figured. Chisel your tailbone. Tom, you can stay in that position, and we are going to do that momentarily. Chisel your tailbone. Yeah, Val, you can try lifting the pelvis up and aiming, yes, like a Kapotasana shape to get into the frontal groins. You can work with movement. Donna, those of you, Alana, you can place your hands in the arches of the feet, lift the pelvis up, take the arms overhead. The arms will come closer to the floor, so you're getting that Kapotasana shape. The buttocks need not come to the floor. It's not a problem. Good. Elaine, that's good. Just make sure your inner heels are not underneath your buttocks. And that's it. Do the Lubna, the seesaw, I call it the seesaw, is really good for your armpits. So use your feet, use the earth element. That's it. Use the earth element of your feet and your shins to kick the dorsal in. Come on, really press those feet down. Press the feet down. That's it, Donna. Okay. Chisel your tailbone. All right, now in a moment, yes, you can do Baddha Hasta. In a moment, those of you who know the arm position, sometimes palming the brick that supports your head, palm that brick so the elbows point up. That's it, Lana. Yeah, that's really, yeah. Aim, Val, to get the triceps centered to the ceiling. Good, Julia. Okay, good. So it's kind of that, what I'll call the double top arm of Gomukhasana now. Or if that doesn't make sense, Shirshasana arm position. Good, that's excellent, Donna. Keep turning the biceps. All right, now we're going flat to Supta Virasana. Flat. All right, so that means you have to press the feet, come up, remove the supports of the bricks and blankets, and then beautifully go down and lie flat. Aim to go flat. Aim to go flat, but should the abdomen rise, then take the blanket. Yeah, reach the arms overhead to get length to the trunk. Those of you who have a bolster nearby, you can put it on the thighs. That'll feel good. To ground the thighs, ground the legs, put the blocks there, Donna, good. Abdomen wide, diaphragm broad, reach through the fingertips. That's it. So, Supta Virasana from classical Paryanukasana. Tom, you're good. Polly, if you want to come up and do the chair Supta Virasana, or Tom's in it, where you're putting your feet on the knees are supported by the bolster and the buttocks are on the chair and the back is supported by a bolster, that would be lovely. Okay, these look good. Julia, try without support, I think you can do. Tom, that's good setup. Just touch it, Julia. If it causes in any way, it will be hard for me to tell if your abdomen lifts up, if you're overarching in your lower back, then you turn the bricks there. Lubna, that's really good. Your lower lumbar spine looks like it has a lot of length. Good. Mine is in the dark. I wish I could get some light in the room. Okay. Yeah, so Polly, you have the knee. Remember this one where the knees are on the bolster. If you have the galley, look at Tom, he's in it. Buttocks are on the seat. Knees are on the bolster's in front of you, and the feet are underneath the chair, the seat of the chair. Yeah, that's it. Okay, these look good. Stay for another minute. It's always good to do Supta Virasana. I think that's too much. Yeah, you don't need that amount of height underneath that. Just a bolster to support your back. I'll send you a photo of this, Polly, so you really have that, so the memory is there. Okay. All right, now to come up the Supta Virasana, people, right? Place the hands in the, you can remove the bolster or blocks over your thighs, hands in the arches of the feet, and inhale up you come. And then that's it, Polly. And then the bolster is better, so you don't have to strain in your arms. And then stretch your legs out into Dandasana. Actually, just take a quick Upavishta Konasana. Not that it makes so much sense with this sequence at this point, but it might feel good for some of you on your abdomen. So remember, after Supta Virasana, it's important to take, extension of the legs to open up the knee joint. And in Dandasana, it's easier to open the backs of the legs when Dandasana is hip width apart. Okay, now we ended with that Supta Virasana. I'd like you to go now to Ekapada Bekasana, because Ekapada Bekasana is, Bekasana is really like Supta Virasana prone. Ekapada Bekasana is more like one-legged Supta Virasana, which we didn't do because it's even more challenging. So now you're going to do prone Ekapada Bekasana. If your chest doesn't lift, support your left forearm on a blanket. Okay, have the feet apart, so now you're on your belly. Use your hands to turn the thighs from the inside out. Feet point backward as they've been doing. Open up the feet. Spread the toes. So you're on your belly, Tom, prone, yeah, in Ekapada Bekasana. Place the left forearm in front of you, not too far out, because you won't get the lift of the chest. So Polly, in Ekapada Bekasana, you know what I would do? If it's very difficult for you to hold, remember the iteration where the knee was on the seat of the chair? So for some of you, if you need, finish what you're doing. For some of you who know the pose. So this is the iteration I'm talking about. If the knees are tight, if you have short arms, it's easier to just put the knee and this way, you see, this iteration. So I have now the knee is pressing into the chair. I'm aiming the heel to the outer buttock. Good, Val. Aim to get the heel to the floor. Lift the chest by pressing the left forearm firmly. That's it. And then bring around, that right shoulder wants to stay back. So roll the right side of the armpit forward and change sides. Ekapada Bekasana. This is such a good pose. So Polly, you see the difference by when you have something to press into, you could do without the chair. You might not have been here when I last taught this, but when the knee is down into the seat of the chair, it's easier to lift the pubic bone up. Okay, now take a cobra, a Bhujangasana in between with bent arms. So place the hands out, everyone can do. Holly, you can stay with that by the side walls of the armpit chest. And now slither forward and then rise up a smidge, but keep the elbows bent. Keep the elbows good. That's it, Val. Keep the elbows bent. Thoracic spine should be moving in. Very basic back bend. Good. All right, now when you're ready, come out. Now those who can do Bekasana, bending both legs. Others of you can go and do either Ekapada Bekasana, what I just showed on the chair, or the Utthita, this one. If you don't want to repeat it prone, and you're not doing Bekasana, then do Utthita Bekasana as I'm showing, okay? Otherwise, we rarely do both. Betsy, that's good. See if you can bend the knees at the same time, put your hands on the tops of the feet, and at the same time, turn the hands, good Luna, so that the fingers, Julia, see if you can get more of your hand on your foot. More of your hand, yes, so that you can really turn the hands. Luna, you have it. That's it, Janet. So yeah, So I think what's better, Polly, for you, instead of using the strap, so that was what I wanted to make, because you probably weren't here. So for you, using the chair for Utthita Bekasana is better than the strap. And that's a really good point. Okay. All right. So you're on Bekasana, not Bakasana, Bekasana, or Utthita style or prone, or you're doing Ekapada. Polly, yeah, just not too much height underneath the knee, because then that will cause the pubic bone to lift up too much. Good, Donna. Okay, and now stretch out your legs. All right. All right, so everyone, let's do this. Come and sit for a moment. Stretch out your legs in Dandasana. We're going to do a few seated twists, all to the right, all to the left. Haven't done it in a while. All right, so Polly, let me just see how this is. Okay, so start in Dandasana. We worked on Bharadvaja. Those of you who were with me on Tuesday, we did, so we're gonna go to do all these twists. We're going to do Bharadvajasana 1. We didn't do 2 on Tuesday. All right, so from here, you're going to aim to get your left foot, the top of your left foot, into the arch of the right. You see how I'm lopsided? So I need to take the blanket. The blanket ideally does not go underneath the thighs, because that will cause that right thigh to lift up. That's a very important point. I want you to have the blanket. It can be under both buttock bones, but it's under the buttocks and not the thighs. And then this is what the other thing I want to say is, when we do Bharadvajasana, wholeheartedly turning to the right, we don't want this left thigh to lift up. That's why the blanket should not be underneath the thigh, but rather the buttock bones. And then the other possibility is when the knees are too close, it causes the lift of that left hip. So decentralize the knees. Okay, so we're in Bharadvajasana 1. You can do it in the chair, Tom, if that's helpful. Okay, now take your arms up, reach up without lifting the left hip up. Take the arms out to the side, get the shoulder blades flat on the back, and now take a few, what I'll call swinging the arms back and forth, so that you can, when you're ready, wholeheartedly turn to the right. In turning to the right, don't let the left thigh hip lift up. So you see, I put my left hand in that pronated palm position as a reminder to stay down. So you want the left shoulder, left armpit in line with the right hip. Okay, let's do that again. Arms up, reach up. Take the arms out laterally to get the shoulder blades flat on the back. Swing the arms to and fro. And now wholeheartedly turn to the right. Wholeheartedly. And now finally, move the trapezius down away from the neck and lengthen the cervical away from the trapezius. Jana, watch how you're slightly leaning back, okay? So the chest is upright, right? Not this, nor forward. So it's like the axis of a planet turning. Okay. Now, stretch out your legs. All right, we'll do Bharadvajasana 2. You know, Polly and Tom, try this because we did so much work on the Padmasana piece. So you're back in Dandasana, all right? And then I'm getting this leg in Virasana, which we just did, and all those Parinkasanas. And then remember all that work to get into Padmasana. Now, if this doesn't work, then place the foot on the floor, and you can still do an aspect of Bharadvajasana 2 in the same manner, okay? All right, so here we go. Well, Donna, but watch how that knee just flew off the floor. So can I just see this again, everyone? So just so that we're establishing some good habits and healthy habits for the knees. So starting in Dandasana, I'll say this in my own language. I'm gonna peel back this left foot, aiming to get on the baby toe side. I pause there, I wait. I turn the inner knee to the outer knee. Let me show in profile, in frontal. Then I do the same cut, so I keep this knee down. And the foot is either winds up in the left groin. If it doesn't, no matter, place it on the floor. Even if you want to put the block, look, or a blanket, and do it in that manner. So, you're getting this natural progression, and that's what's important. Doesn't matter if you could do the pose or not, but you're taking an iteration of something I did previously in the sequence and then going. Take the arms up, reach up, take the arms out, swing, 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 and then wholeheartedly turn. Those who can catch, use momentum. See if you can catch the Padmasana. Try it again, Val. Let's do it again. Reach up, knees are down, reach up. Tom, so remember, so if the knee is up, put the foot on the floor, just like I showed. Yes, and then you can do. Good. All right, so again, just let the knee fly up. Okay, take the arms up, take the arms out. Now, come on, use momentum. You're aiming to get the right hand to catch. Polly, if it all else tells you, can just do it in the chair. All right, swing, 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 and then sharp exhalation, turn. Aim to hold the foot. That's it, yeah, see if you're not leaning back, not coming forward. The spine is upright. If the knee is, decentralize. If that right knee is not down, decentralize. Okay, and now stretch out the legs. That was Bharadvajasana 2, which we need to do more often. All right, now let's do Marichyasana 1. We did 3 on Tuesday. Everybody sit on a blanket so your lower spine doesn't lose height. All right. All right, so watch, I'm going to decentralize the left leg a smidge, not as wide as Upavishta Konasana. I'm going to bend my right leg. And then similarly, those of you who were here Wednesday, if you remember what I taught in Marichyasana 1, right? You can hug it, right? So this is Marichyasana 3, but we're doing Marichyasana 1, in which case this Marichyasana right leg will take the right arm. And then actually I need to do this, sorry, bend your left leg because we're turning to the right, and we'll take the left arm and turn, okay? So it's Marichyasana 1. Polly, you can do this. Bring your left heel as close into your buttock, left buttock bone, as your knee will allow. Decentralize the right leg. Raise the left arm up. Sharp exhalation. Fill in the gap between the left side of your rib cage and your arm, and turn to the right. If you need to, use your right hand and swipe your abdomen. Right hand right on the inside and spread that diaphragm like you did in Viparita Karani. Good, Donna. That's it. Lean in. Close in the gap between the side walls of the left side and your inner left thigh. Polly, decentralize the other leg. You'll get more swiping power, the right leg. Marichyasana 1. Okay, now stretch out your legs. Now, Marichyasana 3. So now do indeed bend the right leg. All right, now, for some of you who were here on Tuesday, just thinking about what we did, I gave you 4 different ways to do Marichyasana 3. If you weren't here, don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to teach one of the ways. Maybe we'll see what I get. All right, so one of the ways that was particularly helpful for some of you who had stayed after class was what I'll call the leaning back method. So I had you, if you remember, right, Janet, Elaine, we decentralized the left leg. That's to allow space and organic spaciousness in the lower abdomen diaphragm. And then you lean back as though you were at the beach, leaning back again to relax, and then aim to get the opposite arm to the right leg, i.e. the left arm, and then turn. Okay, that was helpful. That was one of the ways. So let's do Marichyasana 3 in that manner. Okay, now bring the leg back to the Dandasana position. Yes, and see if you can turn some more. So this is one of the ways. We did 4 different ways on Tuesday. Marichyasana 3. Okay, let's go back and do that again. Stretch out your legs. All right, bend your right leg. Bend your right leg. Decentralize the left a bit. Why? To create space in the abdomen. Lean back, and then the leaning back will help you relax and turn. You're aiming, here's the thing, guys. You're aiming to get the left side of your waist all the way around to the outer right knee, like you're turning yourself down inside out. Take the left arm and turn. Now crank, use the left leg as a lever to turn some more. So you have to start with the decentralized leg in order to feel the cranking power of your now centralized left leg. It's a method, that's it. So Donna, if you want to lean, that's another method to lean out to like Paschimottanasana. Okay, so that's your Marichiasana 3. All right, stretch out the legs, and of course the same thing to the other side. Lubna, I always think of you when I teach this because of remember the time when I didn't do the other side. And you corrected me, so I always remember that. All right, stretch out the legs. Take an Upavishta Konasana in between. We might as well feel good. One of the reasons why Upavishta Konasana feels so good after doing twists to the right, say before we do to the left, is, you know, twists are kind of cranky poses. They're cranking and they're cranky, right? So we have to spread. They're both cranking and spreading, cranking and cranking. All right, so now back to Bharadvajasana 1. Some of you can do in chair. Okay, so let me see if you've got the leg position so I don't have to teach it because I'm really anxious to see you get the foot position. So that's when we could say the legs are swung off to the side, right? So now your right foot, the right metatarsals in the arch of the left. Support the buttocks, not the thighs. Decentralize. Lubna did a good job on decentralizing the legs in Bharadvajasana 1. All right, now remember how we did it. We're turning to the left. Oh, that's good. Take the arms up, get length, arms out, get the shoulder blades flat. So each, you know, when we do something, know the reason why. And now swinging, swinging, getting movement, and then when you're ready, turn to the left. Yeah, so some of you are letting that right shoulder lean back. I think that, Donna, it's better on this side. Aim to get the shoulder in line with that hip crease. All right, let's do it again. Lana, that's really good. Take the arms up, reach up, take the arms out. Probably can just go back to the chair. All right, and then swing. And now simply turn to the left. Get that swinging action. So you're in Bharadvajasana, legs going to the left. These look good. All right, one more time, as I think we did it 3 times. Remember, all these can be done with back to the wall, with front to the wall. These, I mean, we could spend, you know, hours. Arms up, arms out, swing, swing, swing to get movement, and then sharp turn. Sharp turn to your left. Good. All right, now stretch the legs out. We're doing Bharadvajasana 2. Bharadvajasana 2. One leg is in Virasana, other leg is in Padmasana. And we're turning to the left. So this time we're catching the left foot with our left arm. All right, that's it, Elaine. If your foot is not in the groin, or even if it's on the mid-thigh, that's fine. The idea, not that it's not an idea, your left knee has to be down on the floor. So decentralize it, even to the point, as I said on the earlier side, to the foot being on the floor. And then take the arms up. So I'll keep my foot on the floor, because for some of you, arms out, and then wholeheartedly turn, and then sharp exhalation. Know that when the foot is on the floor, it's impossible to hold the foot on the floor. You would have to have tremendously long arms. Good, Lana. These look good. Really good. Some of you caught the foot. Good, Val. That's it. Many of you caught the foot. All right, one more time. One more time. Full pose. Bharadvajasana 2. Arms up. The swinging helps you catch the foot. Sharp exhalation and go. That's it. Just watch the ankles. All right, then give a good stretch to the legs. Okay, so now you know what's coming. Marichiasana 1, we're turning to the left. So the right leg is bent. Stay on height so that the lower spine doesn't lose. Just curious to hear, how many of you really like these supported twists? I know Lana. Yeah, okay, I just want to get an idea. I'm just interested in, you know, I know that dislike is an odd request, but just interesting for me to know. All right, so now we're bending what leg? The right, decentralizing the left, And you're doing Marichiasan. Remember it by same arm, same leg. All right. All right. So here we go. Marichiasan 1. Arms up. Okay. Closing the gap. Good, Betsy, and turn. For many of you, you'll find that you get a lot of turning power in this decentralized Marichiasan 1. That's it. Tom, you can do Marichiasan 1. Sit on some height. Polly on some height. You might need 2 blankets, Polly and Tom. Fine to take. Keep that lower lumbar spine tall. All right. Let's do it one more time. Marichiasan 1. Stretch up through the arms. Take the arms out to the side. And then close in the space. Close in that gap and turn. It'll be easier for you to turn if you decentralize the left leg. Okay. All right, now come back to center. All right, this one is from Tuesday, Marichiasan 3. All right, let's do the same method of leaning back, right? So you're taking in the left knee, you're leaning back, that's it, Rahel. Raise the right arm. Marichiasan 3 is opposite leg, opposite arm, leg is left, arm is right, and now aim to get that, your inner left thigh connected to the side walls of your right chest. Donna, that's fine to do another iteration. You know it, so you might as well do it. Go forward. Yes, go out to the side. Yes. Donna, that's really good. One more Marichiasan 3. Then if you know another method that where you feel you get more turning power, then please do. Because my wish for you is that you know all of them. And perhaps one at one point working for you. Okay. All right, enough of this. All right. Now stretch out the legs. Take Adho Mukha Svanasana for symmetry, and you'll appreciate being up. Actually, before you, take a block. Let's just do a quick Tadasana with the brick. It'll feel good, and then we'll go back to, this will feel really good. So the interesting part is, for me, about asking you that question is I would like to follow up with part B of that question is, if you like them, chances are you're getting something out of it, and what might that be? Lana, and to me, this is really good for your shoulders. When I see you twist. All right. All right, now let's come to the top of the mat. And I think I'll, now that I was just reminding myself of the impact issue that we spoke of, I want to do something as well. So take the brick out. We're doing Utkatasana to Uttanasana to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, so here we go. Utkatasana. You can show me in profile. We spent a lot of time on this. Yeah. Shins back, heels down. Inner knees to the outer knees. Make your lower spine that you just felt tall in all the Marichiasanas even taller. That's I think a little more buttock flesh to the backs of the knees. Yeah, don't overarch in your lower. Yes, don't go as far down. That's it. Then exhale, bend forward. Good, Polly. And jump. Jump. Try jumping. Now, if that fails, jump, jump, jump. Remember what we did on Tuesday? Jump, jump, jump. And then go back. That's it. Elaine, I'm going to have you demonstrate that in a moment anyway. You can do Prasarita Padottanasana. Yeah, do that. Okay, now you jumped back, bend your knees, and jump forward. Imagine that's it, Donna. And now inhale, up you come. All right, now I want you to do heel raises up at the wall. So this. You're facing the wall and you're going to lift your heels, spread your toes up at the wall. Aim to run the inner heels parallel to each other and don't let the feet bow out. That will, especially for those who supinate in their feet. Julia, that's tremendous height in your heels. Good for you. Go up and down. That's it, Betsy. Lift. Lift straight up. Lana, lift straight up. Straight up. Resist, Luna, resist your inner right heel away from the left. Yes, you got it. Lift up. Good. Janet, good. Lift the heels up and down. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it, Tom. Good. Lift the pubic bone, well done. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, now Elaine, you can demonstrate this. So this is one way you can, get some impact. Not a lot of impact, but some. Work on fast twitch muscles. For some of you, it might be helpful to wear a sneaker. If you happen to have them in your room, you can put them on. All right, I'm going to spotlight Elaine and we'll. All right, so I'm going to spotlight Elaine. She demonstrated this on Tuesday. Elaine, can you just lower your camera? Oh, you got your feet. Okay, I just want to make sure I can see your feet. Okay, now take Utkatasana, my friend. Feet apart is fine. Yeah, that's good, Elaine. Good, good, good. So Lana, Lubna, for you, watch that inner right heel. And now go up, straight lift, jump up, jump up, jump up. Yes, and down, jump, jump, good, jump. All right, so again, for people who have foot issues, I would strongly advise a sneaker, but this is so helpful to do this Utkatasana and jump. Utkatasana and jump. Thanks, Elaine. All right, she's a jumping bean. All right, so let's put her back on spotlight. All right, so now I'm going to watch in my galley view everyone else. So try a few, and then what I would say, Janet and others, is if you're doing 8 today, then maybe 10 next Monday. Good, Lana, keep going. If it's really hard on your feet, Val, if it's hard on the feet, yeah, if you wear the sneaker. Remember those inner heels parallel. Good, Donna. Yes.
Ronnie, we're landing on our heels, right?
You're landing on your feet, yeah, and then going back up.
But the whole foot, or?
Yes, the whole foot, and then jumping back up. So you're in Utkatasana and jump, but you're not landing on the balls of the feet, Janet. Okay, let's see it again. Betsy, good. Now go. That's it. Well, it's interesting. You're working with the way that you're taking your arms down and then up. I'm wondering. So this is what's so interesting when you don't give a lot of instructions. I find this interesting. People will find their way, and that's good because I was looking at Lana on the screen and her arms were out to the side. Now Elaine is able to do with her arms up the whole time, but you might find taking the arms up and then bringing them down and then reaching up might be helpful to jump higher. Can we try that? I'm just suggesting. So that's it, Elaine. So it's just because again, it's power. Power up, Elaine. That's it, Betsy. Now go. Good, now bring the arms down by the hips, Betsy. Now lift. Yes, so you want air, you want to leave the earth, become unbound by earth and become airborne. Okay. Now, Lana, you want to try this? You are here. So I'm going to pick someone. So Jarvis did this, I believe. Betsy, I think you were in this class when he taught this, where we took a belt and we jumped back and forth, and also very good for impact. So Lana, you want to try it? I'm going to spotlight Lana. So I'm just taking a bit of a detour because this work is very beneficial. Okay, so let me spotlight Lana. Just taking a minor detour. Okay, so I'm spotlighting Lana. Now here's the thing. She has her belt, maybe 6 inches from her heels. At some point, she might consider taking that belt okay, we're walking forward. Very good, Lana. And then you know what you're gonna do. Utkatasana, bend your knees and jump back. So bring the hands to the floor. Now, merge the thigh. Yes, yes. Now, that's jumping back. For some people, jumping back is harder than. Now, see how she bends her knees and jump forward. And then she's going to begin the whole darn thing again. Now, again, if you can do a few reps, do so. If not, maybe 1. Try with sneakers. All right. So now, thanks, Lana. And I want to see everyone do at least 1, maybe 3, maybe 5. Okay, so some of you who are used to doing this, Betsy, the belt, Donna, can go halfway. and then you have to jump back further, right? Which is actually harder, I think, Elaine. Yeah, harder on the good, Val, and then it's easier to, good, that's it, or jump, 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 Janet. Okay, this is good. I'm glad we're doing this. Rahel, excellent. Now bend the knees strongly. Let's see, Julia. Wow, that's good height. Make the, remember, don't think of it as a muscular action for the shoulders. This is more from the abdomen. Make your abdomen light. So you'll be good, Rahel. You'll become, oh, Donna, that was gorgeous. Beautiful. You really become not bound to the earth. Wow, that's a lot of height, as though you were suspending your pelvis in the air. I know if it's too much, just stay in dog pose. I understand. But for some of you, this is really beneficial. You can jump, 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 jump. Okay, beautiful. All right. Donnie got a lot of air height there. All right. Now let's do this. Let's see. What are we gonna do? I'd like to do a chair back bend now. Okay. I alluded to Viparita Dandasana earlier. So take the height, blanket height that you need. Viparita Dandasana. Now I urge you, remember what I talked about in spreading the skin, right? So many people say they get tight in their neck as they go back. Put your hands at the occipital ridge, spread the skin, and then lengthen the cervical. So one high quality Viparita Dandasana with the legs at the wall. So chair back bend. All right. We're doing Viparita Dandasana. That's it. That's it, Julia. Some of you will need blanket height. Remember, Lubna, for you to bring the, when you go back, the shoulder blades clear the chair seat, because the last time I think I saw this, they hadn't fit. Okay. One high quality. Maybe some of you saying, wow, I didn't know she'd sneak in a chair back then in this sequence, but you've opened the frontal groins a lot. Think of what you've done. Padmasana, all those seated twists, not chair twists, seated twists. And now it should be a beautiful, and the arms can go overhead. That's good, Lana. Should come beautifully now. Feet up against the wall. Roll the thighs in, press the inner, good, Rahel, take your hand. Remember, I don't want any neck pain. That's it, Paula. Chair back bend. Tom, you can take a look at the gallery and see everyone in the chair back bend. Janet, that's it. And then you'll extend one leg. Yeah, your shoulder blades have cleared. Janet, then extend one leg, my friend, and then the other. Okay, good. Okay, these look good. Can you on the ball, Tom? That's a fine method. Good, Donna. These look good. If you need to come up, you can come up. All right. Now, get settled, Val. Now to come up first, bend the legs, press the feet, hold the side rungs of the chair, and now, like you came up in Supta Virasana, up you come. Okay, now the fun begins. Lie flat. Take a bow. Feet can be at the wall, it's the very best way. Supta Pangushtasana 1, with belt, without, and then for some of you will get back in the chair and do Ekapada Viparita Dandasana. Okay, here we go. Feet up. So you're on your back, supine. Take Ekapada, right leg in. Value stay. Yeah. So now you're lying flat on your back. You have the belt nearby, and you're in Dvipada. Ekapada Pavamutasana. See, now look, so now observe, it should be easy breezy to get the thigh to the chest, right? Let your abdomen, remember, deflate. Let it draw back, shortening the distance between the pubic bone and the navel. That's it. Now place the strap across the ball of the foot. Come to 90 degrees, a different way than when I last taught this pose. And now move the leg toward you. Make your legs are straight. Now begin to go beyond 90. Now, so start at 90 here. I'm going to give you a visual. Imagine you are back on the chair and the back of your right thigh is pressing into that back lump. And your mission, should you accept it, is to move the leg away from the back rump. Okay, that's it, Betsy. And now go. You're on the chair. You're still in the chair. You're still in Viparita Dandasana. You all know, Julia, keep that right leg straight, a little more, opening the back of the knee. Yeah, pull the toes down, lift the heel up. So remember, you're still in the chair and you're moving the right back of your thigh. So now we're in Supta 1 and beyond. Now the abdomen is engaged and we're aiming to get our right thigh, even though you're not on the chair, away from that backrest, the backrest. That's it. If you can hold the foot, please do. All right, now bend the right knee. We haven't yet done. Bend the right knee, Ekapada. Now let go of the strap. No strap. Let it go. Let it go. Take the leg back to 90. And now without the strap, have the memory of the belt, holding the belt. Have the memory of the chair. Now move the leg. No belt. You're in the chair. You're moving that leg. A little bit harder. Yeah. Just keep it, yeah, without even momentum. Without the momentum, move the leg beyond 90. Okay, change, do Dvipada for symmetry. So you know where we're going with this. If anyone's not getting back in the chair, you'll repeat this. Dvipada, Ekapada left leg, have the belt nearby. Merge the abdomen and the thigh. Put the belt on, start at 90, and then move. Now, you're in the chair. And you don't want your thigh, the left thigh, resting against that back rest. You've got to move it. 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 Now, this is easy because you're holding the belt. The belt helps you move the leg. You now know, because we just did on the right side, you have to move the leg without the belt in about a minute. Okay, that's good. Keep moving. So, Luna, you can see the difference in this left leg. Just for time, bring the leg back to 90, let go of the belt, start at 90. Now, use your abdomen. Those of you with me on Tuesday, we know how to do that. What does the abdomen do? You're shortening that distance between the pubic bone and the navel, right? Shorten that distance without letting the lumbar spine overarch, and move it without belt now, because you won't have the belt in the chair. We're aiming to do this pose without the belt in the chair. Although if you're unable to move the leg, you certainly could use the belt. Okay, now Dvipada for symmetry. Okay, now we'll all go back into the chair. Okay, now here's what I would say. If you've never done it without the belt, try it without the belt, because if ever there was a time to do it, it would be now. Okay, so we're going back into the chair, Viparita Dandasana, and without belt, move your leg. All right, if you've had enough, no problems. You can simply repeat another iteration of Supta 1 and Supta 2. Elaine, do Supta 2 because, yeah, after 1, because it'll be a better segue to Shavasana for you. Okay, Betsy, that's good. Yeah, that's the way. And then take the leg up. Okay, that's it, Julia. Extend one leg to the wall. You can do Supta 1.
I gotta go, Ronnie.
Bye, Polly.
Love you all.
Thanks, Polly. Now move the leg down. Then no part of the leg is Julia. Okay. Now, excellent. Take the leg up. Oh, Lubna, I see that you're merging with the space behind you. I can't see the area leg because the black is merging with the nighttime outside. Keep the neck long. Now that's really good. You got about 5 inches between the back of the thigh and the rump. Okay, beautiful. Elaine, you're doing it on your back. That's a beautiful thing. That's it, Rahel. Okay, Lana's really good. If you're using the strap, I have no problem. Okay, now you got to come up and change sides. So the very best way, yes. Then your area leg. That's it. Luna, no. All right, change sides. Let's see, let me see this side. Yeah, frontally, it's hard for me. If you're on this side, I can tell better if the leg is moved away from the backrest, the back arms. We're not ending in this, so Luna, you're back on, good. No, the black tights merged with the outdoors, so I couldn't distinguish between your leg and the nighttime from the window. Okay, Betsy, that's beautiful. But now a little bit straighter leg, Betsy, to be picky. Extend from your inner knee to the inner heel so that the back of the knee can open. Yes. Calf to the shin for Betsy. Good, Donna. See it beautiful. Well done. Well done. Down this side too. Julia, see if you can clear that left thigh from, yes, there you go, there you go. Okay, and now when you're ready, bring the leg back into the, yes, okay, in the floor, yeah. And now pressing through the right foot, inhale, come. That was really, okay. That was an interesting way to come out of that pose. All right. Take Adho Mukha Svanasana with the very, the way we typically do it after back bends with heels up at the wall. I hope your neck is okay. All right, Adho Mukha Svanasana. If you're already supine, Elaine, those of you did Supta 1, just take a Supta Baddha Konasana then. Flat for your back, but also to aerate out your abdomen. Okay. Donna, yeah.
I didn't hear, what are we doing?
We're doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, Donna, with heels at the wall. Very, very popular way after back bends to do Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good. Okay. Well, I wasn't planning on teaching this today, but I think it worked well. Yes. Yeah. So now, this one, not so much what I'll say for the to improve on Adho Mukha Svanasana. So don't move the chest in, Donna, so much to the leg side. Sense more that the abdomen is spreading and lifting up. So we worked on the thoracic, and now this is more of a way to undo the spine from that back bending shape. Those of you who find it helpful to toe in and heel out can do that. Elaine, so yeah, and I think we'll all do Supta Baddha Konasana after this. Or Baddha Konasana often feels good after back bends as well. All right, now everyone do a flat Supta Baddha Konasana. If you don't want to be flat, you can just sitting up Baddha Konasana is fine. I want to just see if I can find that Sharon Salzberg statement again. I may not be in luck today. So while you're resting in Supta Baddha Konasana, let me see if I can get this. I'll have to print it for Tuesday. And just rest here. Spray, you can take your hand to your lower abdomen, spreading it, reminding the abdomen and the diaphragm to spread. Again, not imposing, not managing, not improving, not trying to get anywhere. I promise I'll find it today. And then I'll leave it to you to make your own transition, if you will, to an iteration of Shavasana, be it prone, which we often do after back bends, or supine, or lower legs on the seat of the chair, which can also feel good. If you want to stay a second or longer in Supta Baddha Konasana, just do what you need to do, what your mind and body need at this moment. Or I like to think of as, and I've tried this in the classes to, ring the gong. I don't have the gong. So now I'm asking you to imagine like you imagine the chair, the gong, the bell ringing. And think of that moment that the gong goes off. You let that sound of the bell bring you into this sense of timelessness, bring you into the here and now as we spoke of earlier. So imagine the bell going off in your room. Those of you who've been on retreats, you know what that sound is like. And then see if you can dedicate and devote all of yourself to be in the timeless. Setting aside thinking, there's no need to be thinking. Just simply set it aside. And you can perhaps even in your mind's eye have your hands like placing those things like thinking, your list to do, and setting it down on a table. Not being burdened by the list, by the litany of what we tend to have in our minds. Just let it all go. Simply be with your body as it is, lying down or seated, in whatever configuration. Be with your body, be with your breath. See if you can rest in the heart of things the way they are, as they are. Since the earth is holding you, and our community, all the people in the room holding you, supporting you. See if you can get a glimpse of what it's like to find refuge in the here and the now, as there's no other place to be. Allow yourself to feel what it's like to find refuge in the now. Not thinking about it, which is very different. Feeling being in the now as a refuge. Because when you feel that, that will produce more moments to be there. Be your own bell, reminding yourself to come back into this present moment awareness. Be your own bell. And if you need to make that gesture, sense that your hands are holding that to-do list, putting it down on the table. What a burden it is to carry all that around. It's not necessary. Why not put it down? And throughout the day, you can remind yourself that you have this inner bell, this inner refuge to come back to at any moment. And when you're ready, you can all transition to an upright posture. And you'll have time to get any questions. So transition yourself slowly to that seated posture.